It's so interesting when you speak because your story is my story. I don't know when you came here, and when you speak, it's all the same thing, And this is actually ultimately what led into Kwitu coming into existence because of the challenges when we move here. When you first come here, it's so different, and there's nobody. Like even if like you say, you only know as much as the person who picks you up from the airport.
So this guest
But
today is an entrepreneur. She's a leader. She's a business lady. She is a mom. And I'm telling you, I am so happy that I am able to host her today. I have been looking forward to this moment for a very long time, and I'm so glad that she's able to join us. The one thing that inspires me the most about this lady is the fact that she always finds ways that she can connect the women in the diaspora with investment opportunities back home. So if she sees land is for sale or any good opportunity, she's our connection and she tells us all these good things. So without further ado, please help me welcome this next guest in Lilly. Welcome.
thank you. Thank you so much for having me today.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background. Who's Lilly?
Wow. So, Trudy, before we start, I was actually asking myself who's Trudy, and I'm here because I was like, I'm gonna be surprised. I didn't look you up or anything because I knew we're going to get to know each other on here. But let me answer your question. Who's Lilly? My name is Lilly Richards. Richard is my dad. And I'm a mom of a beautiful young lady. She's 8. Other than that, I'm also an entrepreneur. I am the owner and CEO of Lavish by Lilly and Premium Errands Global. I'm also the founder of Kenya Women in the USA. This is a non-profit organization, Kwitu. And other than that, I sit in a couple of boards. I am a woman who is very passionate about women issues. And so I feel like when Trudy reached out to me, I had to show up for this woman because I don't know her. So I wanted to get to know Trudy. So I hope, Trudy, you're going to bring me in. I'm going to get to know you as we do this. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Hey, and I envision the same thing happening since really we've never really met face to face. This is our first interaction.
Yeah.
I've always, just seen you being passionate out there, in the Kwitu forum and doing all these things. And I'm just being inspired over here. But the fact that we're in the same room right now communicating, I'm sure you're going to be asking me questions that I'm going to be asking you questions. So yes, let's keep the conversation firing up.
Amen. Yes. Like this. And question number 1: who's your audience? I want to know who I'm talking to. I thrive in women's spaces, so I don't know where I am right now. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great question. So our audience, it started with, just real people telling real stories and having a chance to inspire someone else. And I'll give you a little bit of a personal touch and the reason why I started this show. I remember when I first moved to the United States, I didn't have that guiding principle, or I didn't have that someone that would hold my hand and say, hey, don't get a credit card, or don't do this, or if you do that, you're going to regret for the next 10 years. I didn't have that. So I came here with the mentality of I'm making, and mind you, I was only making, I want to say $10 an hour. And I was excited. I'm thinking I'm making this much money in Kenyan shillings and anything. I can buy a car, I can buy everything. And oh my gosh, did I mess up? So, and it's because, it's because you're only as good as someone who picks you up from the airport. What they know is what you end up knowing. And for the next, I don't know how many years, until you start meeting other people in other networks and noticing that, oh, other people are doing other things out there that maybe I should learn something. So that's really what inspired me to start this. It's because not every day I will meet a Lily Richards to tell me, how did you get started in your business, or how did you navigate living in America as a Kenyan woman? But if you and I can have this conversation, can you just imagine how many people out there are going to be impacted positively by this, by learning, hey, maybe I shouldn't do that. Let me start from here. So just, having our own connection, our own mentorship in that way.
It's so interesting when you speak, because your story is my story. I don't know when you came here, and when you speak, it's all the same thing, and this is actually ultimately what led into Kwitu coming into existence, because of the challenges when we move here. When you first come here, it's so different, and there's nobody, like, even if like you say, you only know as much as the person who picks you up from the airport. But again, there's a thing we have when we guys, as Kenyans, there's this thing we have where you don't like to bother people about everything. You want to put in an effort, and you don't want to go to somebody like today. You're like, oh, so how do I apply for school? And then they help you all in, like, oh, so which schools? How do I look up like accreditations? And oh, how do I get funding? Because see, I just got here and I don't have the money. So I had to learn how to be able to do research on my own, And basically what Kwitu has done now is you show up and you just ask, and you get resources just. And that's why we're here. We don't want anybody else coming into the US from Kenya and being lost. We want you to come join a community and thrive. Just from the day you get here, just thrive. And that's Kwitu for you. We're here to connect, support, and empower. And back to now us. Same similarity, same story. You come here, you are on your own, and you're trying to figure out your way. It's very difficult when you don't have anyone, mommy. And actually, it's sad, because that's the reality for many of us, actually most of us. And as women, it's even worse, because some of us come here when we already have babies. And what that means, because when you came here, for some time your life was on hold, right?
Yep.
Mine was. It was on hold, like a good hold. I had to go back to school, and even going back to school, you start from zero. Like, whatever degree you have, forget about it. And imagine you're here with kids. Now you get to choose who goes to school first, me or my kids. Obviously your kids. And that's something that women go through all the time. We make sacrifices. We put our kids ahead of us. We send them to college. We wait, for our turn. And these are things that go unsaid, because we don't quite understand that by itself has such a huge impact on our lives here. Yeah.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree. I could not agree more, especially the part that once we migrate from Kenya to a completely different country, our life is truly on hold. And it's not on hold because we don't know what we're doing. It's on hold because we're trying to learn and adapt to a completely new culture.
Yes.
We're coming from a place where we say water, and then now we have to say water.
We say sidewalks, pavements, and we have to say sidewalks now. And even in school, the English is different. It's a lot. But sorry, my daughter's phone is ringing.
Real life, right?
Yeah, sorry. So I actually will circle back to women again. The thing is, when we guys come here, right? This thing we call a hold, it affects us more, and for example, if you are maybe thinking, oh, I have a relationship in Kenya, I'm gonna come work, blah blah, most of the time we end up losing these relationships. Most of the time, we as women, when we come here, we cannot go on, like, say you wanted to have a kid at 27 or 26. It's impossible, because when you get here, you realize, oh my gosh, I probably need to go to school. I probably need to go to school so that I can work on my career, because if I don't, I'll just end up doing this kazi mkono forever. And so you decide, I'm going to a 4-year college. Now, Plania who gets a baby at 27 changes into having a baby at 35, because even after that, you have to stabilize yourself. And that's why we're seeing many women in the diaspora having babies late. And it's not a crazy thing. It's just that I notice many people in back home don't grasp these kind of things. But we guys are living that reality where you come here and it's a whole different, like if you want to get it all, you have to plan, and you're going to be late for some reason. Some of us, get married at really late, your plans to get married at 25 didn't work because you had to prioritize something. Yeah, we go through a lot as women when we migrate here.
We do.
Yeah.
No, spot on. And it's not only that we're going through, getting our goals in line, we're also supporting family back home. So and so needs school fees, so and so needs, you name them.
Yeah, and that we can't run away from. We are community people, and actually for some of us, you're the only person who's been, you're out into the United States in the whole clan. Everybody depends on you. It's not about just you. So, and everybody, many of us, actually all of us go through this, where you work and you're pretty much sending money home all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It happened to me. I'm a firstborn, so imagine the magnitude, because it had to reach a point where I had to have a conversation with my mom, and I told my mom, hey, listen, I just had a baby now, so I'm gonna release myself from this responsibility because now your youngest kid is out of campus, and I've done this and that and that and that. I knew my mom is at a good place, because by that time I was working out her visa to come to the United States also.
Mm-hmm.
So I had already filed for her. My sister was in the police force. My brother was out there hustling, trying to get jobs. My other little brother was out of campus. So what you need my money for? I have a baby. My baby. I had to literally wait until my family is in a good place so that I can also start mine. Can you imagine?
I can imagine.
So I had my own child. Now it's time for me now to take care of my own. Mm-hmm. And I never looked back.
Good for you.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Many people don't know how to have that conversation. You have to cut sometimes. At some point, you have to realize, hey, I have to also take care of me and my own. So yeah.
Wow. So hey, yay to being firstborn.
Yeah, you're a firstborn? We're the mini parents. We are literally just parents on here.
We are. As soon as
How many siblings?
I have 3 siblings. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Oh, interesting. Wow. Look at how much things we have in common.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's talk about your life in the US. So, we have similar backgrounds in which we were uprooted from our original home. We came here. We had to forge our own path. But if you were to look back at all the things that you have learned along the way, is there anything that you would, you can look back and say, wow, I wish I knew this back then, and I do really want someone else to know this so they can avoid this coming in?
Yeah, there's just one thing. I sit down and I ask myself, why is it that when I came here there was no quitting or any organization that would do work which is doing for women?
Mm-hmm.
It is very hard, and I don't know if people actually understand that when you leave your home and you go somewhere, at first it's exciting. You're like, oh my God, the roads are so beautiful. Oh my God, everything is beautiful. Oh my God, there's snow. I've never seen this. Yes, it's that excitement. Then when it starts wearing off and you start realizing, oh my gosh, now you start becoming that, homesick, because you're not going to sit on your neighbor's veranda anymore and start talking. And, you try to go sit on your neighbor's veranda, they're calling the cops. So you're not doing that, Yeah, and it's funny. I'm gonna say this, and I know my sister is probably not your audience, but I'm gonna say this story. When my sister came here, She was only here 2 days. My sister, it was summertime, so she walked down the street. She was like, she told me, I'm just gonna try see if I can get a job.
I love it. But that's the perception.
I was just like cleaning, like I can. I said to her, "You're gonna end up in jail like today." Can you imagine how quickly this place became lonely for my sister? And that's the thing, though. So for me, when I came here, you see, before your paperwork comes through, you can do nothing. You're staying in the house, and there was always nobody at home. So at some point, you find yourself alone with yourself, just sitting there wondering what to do. You can't walk out there and start just randomly talking to people. They think something is wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I would get out if I'm really, really like stressed. I would get out and go to there was a CVS close by.
Mm-hmm.
You just walk through the CVS, hang out at the cosmetics, aisles, and just do that. Just because I'm trying not to get crazy. But you see, many people get sad. They get homesick. They get sad. They get depressed. They feel disconnected, and they fall through the cracks. And that's why there was a time where we were hearing so many stories of Kenyans being found dead alone in their homes, like, I don't know, 15 days later, 5 days later, how many days, and you're like, this person didn't have friends? Like, it's because people are alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very sad reality. And normally, if you come here and you're not able to, you're not able to just transition properly,
mm-hmm.
and you don't have a community, you don't have friends, people you can actually talk to once in a while when you feel homesick or you feel a certain type of way. It is so amazing what even hearing a familiar voice can do to you, or even just hearing a familiar language.
Yes.
I remember when I was here one time, I was I went to Walmart. I was just buying stuff, just went shopping. And at that time, at least I was already working. I had my little hoopty. I could drive, go to Walmart. So there was this guy, Asian, but this guy was speaking Swahili on the phone. So I knew this is my people. This is my people.
Yeah.
Okay? And so he was talking on the phone, and I'm just like stalking the guy. We're just following this guy, following him around the store. I'm just like, until he hangs up. Just so that I can say, hey, Jumbo. Say Jumbo, Abari. That was good. It was therapy. I felt like, whoa. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got that little dose of home. It felt so good. And this guy he actually did understand, and he just said hello, nini nini. It turned out he was from Tanzania. He wasn't even Kenyan, but hey. And also I ended up with a gynecologist who was Kenyan and Indian born in Kitale. So that was a good thing for me. And so there were Kenyans too. It's not like we didn't have, but we were never able to see each other like on a daily basis. Some would meet in church and some over the weekend because of work. And so I continued to look for Kenyans, and that's what we normally do. You try to look for community and see, keep it going. But some people are not able to do that. Mm-hmm. It depends on where you are. And if you're not able to do that, that's when it's really sad, because many people fall through the cracks. They are not able to transition from just coming from, being in Kenya and now coming here and catching up with this culture, mm-hmm. and being able to function and be productive in this place, this new place. Yeah.
For sure. So what went through the Kwitu vision? So what was going on? Like, what was going on in your mind? And I know you've kind of, insinuated why Kwitu, but yeah, just give me a little bit about the vision and about the organization.
Yeah, it was a lot, okay, because at some point, just being lonely, I ended up on the internet a lot. And there was something called, I don't know if you were born those days, but maybe you had. Okay, so there was something called MySpace. But before I ever went into MySpace, I was on something called Hi-Fi. It was called Hi-Fi. Okay, so that was back then social networking, yeah. And then there was something called Graduate that was very popular with Kenyans. So Graduate was where you could find people you went to school with. But other than that, there was communities where you just find yourself in groups discussing a certain topic. And you just, talk until you guys are like, each other by like name and profile photos, and you start conversations just keep going. It was really nice. And I was in there a lot because I had nothing else to do. So then during that time, Facebook, you must you had to have had .edu email to set up your Facebook. And I was not able to have Facebook at that until when now Facebook decided that anybody now can join. I did. I joined during that time. I think it was back in 2016 or 17. Yeah. So I got into Facebook, and then I started realizing there's Kenyan communities out there, but most of them were communities with people, mostly people who were running these communities, and many women in those communities were from Europe.
Oh.
And then we had these groups that were the Kilimani kind, which honestly, those are amazing forums, but they were doing nothing for me as a Kenyan woman living in the States. And this is because, number one, the time difference. Number two, it was gossip all day. It was drama all day. It was nobody's telling me about how to file my taxes. Nobody's reminding me about, this is what you do for a school year. This is where you go to apply college. This is how you get the FAFSA forms. This is so it was doing nothing for me unless you want drama, which, that part 100. I was getting that. I was getting it late because unafika by the time you get their comments are like 3K, but hey, it was there. Then the European ones also not making any sense because it was all about it wasn't working. And so I figured we need a community for Kenyan women in the US and Canada because we guys have more or less the same challenges. We are in the same sphere. So a group with both us and the Canadians will probably help us. And when I started Kwitu, it was supposed to be a group that basically sorts us out because the loneliness I went through, the hardship I had to go through trying to find. I looked for my own college. I didn't ask nobody for that information. I looked for my own funding for school. I did all this research, I was checking accreditations. I even compared fees from various colleges to know where I'm going to apply. Wow. I went through curriculums that were being offered by colleges to know which college offers what I'm looking to do, and among them, which one do I favor the most, and then which one is not going to cost me too much money, I did all of this by myself and then decided, okay, I'm applying to this college. I had to get my stuff evaluated, went through that alone,
Wow.
Took myself to college, bought my first car on my own, yeah. And you were talking about you came here. I came here with about I don't remember, but I think it's $400 or $500 in my pocket. My first shopping experience, I went to Macys, and oh my God, I just wanted that MAC foundation. The one that's how do you call it? Not the powder, the other one. And that stuff cost me $30-something, and I was like, wow, this is cheap. $30-something. Ooh. Went into Macys, walking around Macys, I saw this black dress. That dress was plain, mommy, plain. Okay? But I paid $60-something for it because I thought, 60-something. That's it. 2 months later, I was working at Macys, Holiday Associates. When I saw my first paycheck, which had taken me a whole week, I had only made $275. Excuse me? That's when now the dollar kicked in. Like, whoa, I want my money back.
Yes. Oh man, it hits you.
I took the dress back. I had only worn it once. I said, I still have the receipt. It's going back. Are you kidding? 275. What? I've been working all week from 6 a.m. to like what? No. Then I sat down with myself calculating. I'm like, no. Why did I buy a dress? Why did I pay $65 for a dress? Why? No. And so that's how I started. And so it's these challenges, things like this that I felt like we need a community where we can channel all our issues, be able to talk freely as women, be able to vent, be able to discuss issues that are affecting us. When we guys started Kwitu, even mental illness, people didn't want to talk about that. People are afraid to say they're depressed. People are afraid to say they're going through this and that. People are afraid to talk about anything, domestic violence. But now, are you kidding? Nobody's afraid anymore. Somebody can come and talk about all 4 mental illnesses that they've been diagnosed with and just talk about it, and it's not strange anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We've all come a long way,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what actually drove me into this was the necessity. It was out there. Mm-hmm. I lived through it, and I know many of us are going through it, and many to come will go through it. Mm-hmm. So it was all about, let's connect Kenyan women so that Kenyan women are connected, and through that we can support each other and empower each other, hence our mission, which is to connect, support, and empower.
Yeah, I love it. And I mean, as a Kwitu member, I almost said Kwitu member, but as a Kwitu member.
Yes, it's Kwitu. It is Kwitu. It depends who's your audience. If you're talking somewhere in Nyahururu, yeah, you might want to say Kwitu.
But otherwise it's Kwitu. So as a Kwitu member. But anyway, yeah, what I was going to say is I do see a lot of that, and I do derive a lot of empowerment and motivation. But and we have so many women just, they discover something and they come live and they share that knowledge freely. Those are the kind of, things that you really don't get anywhere unless you're a part of a network or, like action somehow. So I do enjoy it. It's been one of those groups that I'm like, yep, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to hang out in here a while.
Yay. And it's also the group culture that we guys have cultivated. It starts with us. So we guys, even, as leaders, we do the same. We've cultivated this culture where we're like, listen, we find it, it's amazing, you'll hear about it. Okay? Like, it doesn't earn me anything to sit on information that can help somebody. It doesn't, that information is not necessarily going to do much for me if I don't share it. Mm-hmm. I know about it, I should share it so that another person can benefit and we all benefit. Mm-hmm. So that is the mantra. That's how we run this group. We have the culture of, listen, we are growing. Mm-hmm. If you're in this group and you're not growing, then something is wrong. Mm-hmm. We want every one of us to grow. We want every one of us to be at a better place than when you joined this group. And we do allow that if you feel that this group is not doing anything for you, maybe you should exit and find a community that is doing something for you. Because we do our best to make sure we are adding value every single day. You leave that group with value. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Powerful. That's a great vision. Thank you. Well, congratulations, and thank you for creating this platform.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, just pivoting just a little bit. I know you're an entrepreneur. I mean, you wear so many different hats. So let's talk about, I know, like, in your stories, we've been talking, your first purchase in the US was makeup. And then you also mentioned something about when you were bored, you'd go to Walgreens, CVS, and hang out in the makeup aisle. So now I gotta get you love makeup and beauty. But let's talk about brand a little bit.
Yay! Yes, I do. Listen, look at me. I'm actually the kind of girl that was born with not big, but thick lips, yeah? Mm-hmm. Have you met my lips? They're fully loaded. So growing up, when you're a young lady and there's this imperfection, because many people would see it that way when you're young, this was like one of the reasons why I got bullied. So one reason was my complexion. Mm-hmm. Because in my family, I'm the only person who has a lighter skin tone. Everybody else has a dark skin tone. Mm-hmm. And people used to pick on me. Like, I remember this specific girl who used to tell me, she used to call me Chinese. And she's like, nitaweka hii mawe huko nje ikwe moto, nitakuchoma na kwa hiyo ngozi yako ya Chinese. And I was like, oh my God, I hated my complexion. I was like, what is going on? You know, I was a child. And I was so scared of this girl because she was a little older than I am. And I see her nowadays on Facebook. Just see her. I'm just like, yeah. Anyway, I don't talk to her. You know, I associate her with bullying, so hey, stay away from me. And then there was now this issue with my lips, you know, just in fact there was this guy who used to be at Lilly with the hanging lips.
Oh my goodness. Childhood bullies.
Yeah. And so I became very sensitive. You know how it is when you're a teenager, okay? And I became very sensitive about this. And so when I was able to use makeup, it is funny because when I started wearing makeup, at least I was already out of high school when you talk about, you know, whatever. Otherwise we're just doing fair and lovely in high school. So I had already, like, I had no issues with my skin tone, but I had issues with the lips, and not because of anything, but because the kind of industry I was on the face of tourists all day. I was a hotelier when that's my first career. And so you'd see these people, clients, customers who are coming in because I was in the front office, whatever. They're looking at my lips. You know, mtu anakuongelesha, but you can see where the attention is. It was very uncomfortable. And so I decided to be breaking my lips into two. So I used to wear a very dark shade on the outer, you know, and then put a lighter shade in the middle so that it can break it, so that the illusion makes my lips appear like they're not that thick.
Contour.
Yes, that. Exactly. So you see, it worked for me until I reached a point where when I came to America, and I just, you know, I changed. It's a long story, by the way. One day you'll have to read on a book because there's a reason why I changed. I was very shy a long time ago.
Publishing.
I was a very shy person, yeah. Many people don't believe it, but I was. So when it reached a point where I don't give any Fs about anything. So I realized, listen, these are my lips and they're mine forever. So I'm not breaking my lips for nobody. So boom. I just started like literally wearing like whatever I want. And then there was also an issue because now my lips are very sensitive. So I would have crazy breakouts, you know, have those little whatever, and I kept switching lipsticks all the time, and I would have my lips dry, and so I was struggling with makeup. Even finding a good makeup at where I used to like to buy my makeup that I already mentioned before, couldn't find a good one. So I found something that could work, but it had a red undertone. I am not that person. I'm the kind of person who wants a bright face, yellow undertone, golden undertone, not red. So red undertone made my face dull, and I never liked it. So I used to buy a different how do you call it, concealer, mix it with my foundation. So I used to buy a yellow one, mix it with my foundation so that it's brighter.
Get the golden.
Yes, it has a golden glow. And I got tired of that. I decided, no, I'm going to fix this. I'm fixing all my problems. I'm tired of walking around with my lips hard and thick as cement because some lipstick is sitting there and I can't even, every time you do this, you feel it. Sometimes you get those scraps coming out of, what's in my mouth? And then after you take it off, it's almost like you were violated, like your lips hurt so bad, you're like, oh my God. Now they're chapped. I was sick of it. And when I started doing my research, it all pushed me towards, you know, I have sensitive skin and my lips are also sensitive. Pushed me towards vegan products, you know, gluten-free, all these clean products, paraben-free, all of that. And so I chose that direction. I decided to launch my own cosmetics line for women like me who have struggled and suffered and now they have had enough. So I put together a little cosmetics line of amazing, beautiful lipsticks that are super hydrating and moisturizing. Also, they are vegan and 100% paraben-free, gluten-free, and they are FDA approved. So I also did amazing lipstick foundation that is not thick because I struggled with that other foundation. It was too thick. So this one is light, so that you can decide, do I want a light coverage? Do I want medium coverage? Do I want full coverage? So you want full coverage, just add on to it. And it's not caking. It doesn't cake. And again, it's waterproof. So it's beautiful. So, and it's matte. I did it because that's another struggle. I am very oily. So guys, my products are inspired by my issues, my problems that I was trying to fix. So I only have foundation of women of color, only matte, perfect for somebody. If you have normal skin or oily skin, it's perfect for you. Yes. And that's when Lavish by Lilly was created. And Lavish by Lilly is here to ensure that when you feel beautiful, I mean, when you look beautiful, you also feel beautiful from the inside. Can you imagine wearing makeup and lipstick that is literally stabbing you to death? Like, you're wearing lipstick that is so heavy, you can't even ignore your lips. Like, the whole time you can feel your lips. You just feel like my lips are here. No, we don't have to do that. There was a time somebody referred me to get this lipstick because I was looking for something that lasts all day. I'm tired of just being cautious. Is my lipstick still on? Is it still on? Or drinking something, and when you look at it, oh my God, the cup is white and the stain is screaming at you. So it was so embarrassing. And so they told me, oh, Lily, this, I don't know what it was. It was called Lip Sense. Lip Sense is amazing. It stays all day. It doesn't stay. I was like, perfect. How much? It was expensive. I bought a set for like, what, $70? $75? You wear that thing. You're going to scream. Literally. Like, it is painful.
What?
Yeah. It is so painful. And then taking it off, you have to use something to take off. Fine. It's the pain I couldn't stand. And then you have something else that you have to put in there is to hydrate your lips, because it leaves your lips so dry. That thing, you put it on your lips like this, pop, it vanishes like.
Interesting. Interesting. Wow.
It was so, girl, I swear after 2 weeks, I was like, no way, this is not the life I want. You know, my lips are literally on ICU. No. I couldn't stand that stuff anymore. Even though it looked beautiful, even though, yes, it stayed all day, you know, even though it wasn't staining, but the pain, it was too much and it was driving me crazy. So those are some of the things I needed to fix. So I wanted a long wear lipstick that is also not going to kill you in the process. Something that's going to be good for you. Instead of messing you up, it's going to add value. And therefore the hydrating and the moisturizing effect is so that you get value. If you have chapped lips, use it for 2 days, you're done. Your lips are back. Beautiful and soft. And keep it on at night because it continues to hydrate your lips. It continues to take care of you. So I don't even take my lipsticks off.
Interesting. See,
yeah.
That's the kind of stories I like hearing, because in today's society, especially, we tend to get stuck in this does not work. I don't like this. I don't like this. But we're busy complaining about the things that are not working. We rarely stop to think, okay, why is it not working? And can we find a different way? So your story, both of them actually, goes to say, if you don't like something, you have the power to change it. And look at you. Now you have this beauty empire that you started from not liking something in the first place.
Yes.
So, and by the way, I'm wearing Lily Richards.
Yeah, you look amazing. I know I already said that. Yeah. You look gorgeous. Thank you.
That. And then, so how was the journey as an entrepreneur? I know I am an entrepreneur myself, and some days extremely lonely, some days are tougher than others. So how has your journey been, ups and downs? Tell me, just enough that you're comfortable sharing without spilling the family secrets or recipes.
Yeah, the journey has been good. I honestly cannot complain, but even though it was good, it was also very confusing, you know. Being in this industry where we are all about beauty, you know, and then COVID comes from nowhere, and now everything has to literally just be like on hold, because I depend on you to buy lipstick, and all of a sudden you have your mask on you all the time, and you're not leaving the house. You're home. So you're not buying my foundations either. You're not buying my eyelashes. Where you're going? Nowhere. So dealing with that was very challenging, and actually this industry was one of the industries that suffered a lot. That by itself is, it taught me something. It taught me about having a contingency plan. It taught me about thinking about, if that ever happens again, how are we going to stay afloat? But we survived. I survived COVID, and now the industry is back. I'm in business again. And also I realized that business requires a lot of patience. If you don't have patience, you're probably gonna quit very early in the game. And you really need to be passionate about the kind of business that you're doing. You have to love it just the way you can love a pet or a child. It's one of those things you give your life to, and it gives back. So other than that, same challenges like any other business,
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Lily, it's been amazing having you today. And before I let you go, if someone's watching and they're truly inspired by your journey, any part of your story, or they would like to learn a thing or two from you, what kind of advice would you give such a person?
The advice I like to give is, having been who I am and having gone through life the way I've gone through it, I've come to learn that every challenge always has a positive aspect to it. And that's actually one of my messages this year, just telling people to keep their eyes open. When something comes and you think it's all bad, oh my God, my life is over, ask yourself, how about on the flip side? Maybe my life is beginning. Maybe this is the beginning of something truly very beautiful. It shouldn't all be negative. And so I have learned that in every negative situation, there's a positive opportunity that I have to catch. And if you miss it, you're going to end up with nothing but the negative situation. But if you catch the positive opportunity, you're going to have a very beautiful beginning, something amazing. There's no way you will have a negative situation and nothing good will come out of it. That one, no, you'll have to challenge me and tell me, okay, at this time this happened, it was so negative, nothing positive ever came out of it. And I'll be like, okay, let's talk. And this is something I've learned just by being out here serving the community, by being out here doing my business. And if you follow me, you know actually how my business also came to be. And I'm talking about my business name, what it's inspired with. My business name, Lavish by Lilly, was inspired by a very negative story, a very negative situation that turned out to be the situation that opened my eyes. Apparently, God wanted to see me the way other people see me. And I realized I almost missed it. I would have been too angry. I probably wouldn't have caught it, but I did. So guys, keep your eyes open, catch those positive opportunities, leave the negativity out. It's not going to take you anywhere. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. And in closing, just in case, you wanted to share something as a parting shot that I probably didn't get a chance to ask you, and you really want to squeeze it in, what would that be? And do you have anything additional to share?
Wow. So basically, when you ask me about that, I automatically go into the space. Again, I told you, I'm in the women's space a lot. Okay. So I don't have anything else to share other than the fact that, just to remind everybody that, everybody has something amazing waiting to happen. Today, I saw my friend, she's in Kenya. She put up a post that she's going to, is it Indonesia or something? No, she's going to Turkey. Okay. And she said, in every family, there is that one child that breaks the chains of poverty. And
Amen.
I pray that it's me.
Amen.
Okay? And I was just like, whoa, this is deep. I've never thought about anything like that.
Claim it.
So I just wanna encourage someone. It doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter what you're going through. If there's something, an idea that is giving you sleepless nights, something you keep thinking about over and over, maybe it's time that you start now taking that something and actualizing it and making it a reality, because that's how God reaches out and communicates to us. Maybe this girl had been thinking about this turkey thing and she didn't know until it reached a point where now she realized maybe I should actually work towards going to Turkey. It doesn't just happen that you wake up in the morning like, I'm going to Turkey. No, there is obviously something that's been going on in your head. It comes and goes, it comes and lingers in there. And then sometimes you're seriously thinking about doing something, but the procrastination is just too much. Hey, you're wasting time. I don't know how old you are, but you're wasting time, okay? You're wasting time. Get on with it. Listen to yourself. Get on with it. Get doing what you're supposed to be doing. Your passion could also become your hustle, and it could become your job. It will become something you do for fun and for money. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much again, Lily, for joining our show today. This has been a great session. I feel like I know you a little bit more now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad, Mommy. I'm glad, and thank you so much for having me. Before this, yes, we had never interacted, but you're a very pleasant person. Yeah, I'm glad we did this. Yeah.
Well, have a
I
great.
was nervous though. I was nervous because we didn't have like one of those, I'm gonna ask you about this and that. No, I'm glad we didn't.
Yeah, right. And that's
Yeah.
exactly why. So the reason why I didn't send you any questions is I wanted the conversations to flow freely, and I wanted
Yes.
to be truly from your own real story, as opposed to like, I'm gonna answer this question this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, perfect. Actually, I had fun doing this with you. Thank you so much, Mama.
Nice. Well,
Thank
you
you.
can go hang out with your daughter now. I'm sure she's.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily.
Okay, bye-bye.
If you know someone who will benefit from this message, please don't sit on this content. Go ahead and share and spread the message, because you never know what one person says that could impact someone else's life. And if we can impact someone else's life positively, and the more people we can do that to, the more beautiful this world will be. So thank you so much again. And until next time, have a wonderful day.